Hello, my name is Liv Jagrell from Liv Sin, and you are listening to Brutally Delicious Podcast.
One, two, three, four. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Hey, how are you, Liv?
Oh, I'm fine. Just going to see if my camera can focus. Yeah, now it's better.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me. Good to see you again.
Well, good to see you. I'm just going to put up the volume a little bit. Yes, talk a little bit.
Can you hear me? Check,
Yeah.
check.
Yeah, good.
Got me? Good.
Good.
Excellent. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Good. Just got in a little bit too late.
Oh, no worries. What time is it over there? It's like 7 o'clock at night there? 6 o'clock?
No, 6 o'clock. It's 6
Okay,
o'clock.
so you're about 6 hours ahead of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, I won't keep it too long. Let's just talk about Liv
Yeah.
Sin.
Absolutely.
I've been a fan of your stuff for forever. You've been in my cookbooks
Yeah.
but I love the new Liv Sin stuff, especially. I don't know how to pronounce the title of the record. Is it Kali Yuga?
Yeah, that's right. Kali Yuga.
The song I've listened to, obviously, is the one that's out, is Anti-Hero, and I absolutely totally dig it. What's been the response to it so far?
I think that the response has been very good so far. I mean, the reviews are starting to get in now, and today we got 4 reviews that was very good, but obviously we had some not as good. Also.
Right.
You always have those, and I know it is a little bit a diverse album, or it has both some older styles and newer styles. So of course, if you like the older style of heavy metal, you might be a little bit confused or disappointed. But yeah, most actually good.
So the first thing I want to jump into is, how did you come across, or how did you get to Madsen to mix and master this? He's been on the show before. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's cool. He's really great. It was our record label is Danish.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So when we talked about who was going to mix and master, he obviously came up with some Danish names, and Two was one of them, and Jacob Hansen was one of them. And when he sent out test mix to a couple of guys, but when we got Tu's mix of, he did Anti-Hero was the test mix for, and immediately he got kind of the right sound. We didn't have to ask him for much, and then we just felt like he really understood what type of sound we were aiming for. So yeah, so I'll be very happy with.
So did he do the whole record then?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. He's got quite a resume behind him.
Absolutely, and I mean he is great with metal, so I'm happy to have him on board.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about Anti-Hero for a second. Heavy message.
Yeah.
What was
absolutely.
it like? What was it like writing that? I mean, did you feel all those emotions as you were writing it?
Yeah, I think it was once again on the news with one of those shootings. Probably in the States, but I mean, where there have been in Thailand as well. But that was this year, and this was, I mean, we wrote this album 2020 to 2021. So it was probably, I think it was one of the big ones in the States, yeah. And I just felt, again, very frustrated and disappointed on humanity. And it got me just thinking, and it I mean, it's a subject that makes a good lyric or a song lyric or anything that makes you just think a little bit. And I just thought to myself a little bit what happens inside the head of both the person who shoots so many people without a reason, in my mind, or in my opinion, and also the victims for that. Yeah.
What metal has a way, or heavy metal has a way of definitely like shining the light on topics just like that. I think there's nothing really sort of like metal, right? It makes you think, and maybe by
Yeah.
its design. So I think that
Yeah.
was a perfect, a topic for it. And what have
Yeah.
what has been the comments to that? Are people reacting to that as well as the song?
Yeah, and mostly obviously good reaction and like good topic and etc. But also we get the frustrated gun lovers in the States who always have to claim that it's not the guns that it's the problem. So yeah, so and I know that would come, so I was prepared for that.
I mean, I don't think there's anywhere else like that in the world except the United States, where it's just so
No,
bizarre.
no.
We live in this bizarro world.
Yeah, for us over here in Europe, and I think especially in Scandinavia, we have strict laws. So, and being brought up with those strict laws, it's
Right.
I have a hard time understanding that the right to a gun is more important than human life. But that's obviously it's my opinion and the way I'm
Well,
raised.
I'm from here, and I've
Yeah.
been brought up the exact opposite way, but I kind of agree with you. I mean, there's absolutely
Yeah.
no reason for all that nonsense. So,
No.
what was it like writing this record? You said you wrote it through 20 and 21. Was that pandemic times?
Yes, because 2020, I put Liv Sin on hold because I was doing a reunion with Sister Sin that summer, like a festival summer reunion. So I put Liv Sin on hold. We split with our label. I split with 2 band members, and I was like, put it on hold and do Sister Sin, and we take it from there.
Right.
And then it didn't happen with Sister Sin. Everything got cancelled and because of the pandemic. So the 3 of us that was still in Liv Sin, we just like, okay, we had to do something. So we start to make the new record now, even though we don't have all the band members and we didn't have a label when we started writing a new record. But I mean, what to do? You are a creative person. So what can you do when you can't play? You can write music.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see, and maybe we're seeing it now, maybe in 23, or we'll see it even more, that everybody was locked away for so many years or 2 years or whatever it was, working on their craft, right? Honing their craft. You couldn't do anything. I think we're going to see like a renaissance of arts, not only in music, but in everything, because people were really working on their shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that kind of is going to be the, I guess, the upside of all the nonsense we went through.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something good will come out of this as well, because for us, for example, since we started to make the record and we couldn't play live, we also started to work on how to do live streams from our rehearsal. Right. So we learned how to set that up. We bought ourselves a totally like in-ear system so that we can use the sound from our from our own mixer out to the streaming service.
Yeah.
And I mean, we didn't know anything about that before the pandemic, and now we actually know how to do that. So that's
even this Zoom, right? We would never have done Zoom before.
No,
I don't even think it existed, right?
Yeah. So I mean, that's something we have learned stuff during this period as well, and we have developed stuff. So I think that's a good thing.
When you guys were writing the record, were you able to get together in like a room and write, or were you writing like sending things email? I don't know what the lockdowns were like.
Both. I mean, we didn't have a very strict lockdown here, so we started by jamming in our rehearsal. And then when it got a bit worse, we sent each other files instead and didn't meet, but that was mostly because everyone was afraid of spreading and getting sick, etc. So we did both, but we did a lot of jamming. We actually could do a lot of jamming.
That's great.
And I know it's good. That was good.
Yeah, I think it ends up being more organic and more real when you take advantage of the time together and bounce things off each other as opposed to sending it back and forth.
Absolutely.
When shoot, I just lost my train of thought. I forgot exactly what I was going to say, but forgive me.
Yep, that's fine. It just disappeared.
Yeah, it just disappeared. We were talking about lockdowns. I'm trying now.
We were talking about lockdown. and things to do during the lockdown, or like that people have. We will see a lot of more creative stuff coming up.
All right. Yeah, I'm just going to jump on that thought. Just got lost here. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. I'm back.
Oh, yeah.
When you guys are writing, are you writing the song for like how it's going to come across live on stage? Like this will be a good place for a chant or a breakdown, or are you writing a song for the song's sake and then trying to adjust it to the live setting?
When I write the melodies, I go very much live thinking. When I do the melodies and the lyrics, to make it like, oh yes, this we can, as you said, this is the good for audience,
Right.
and yeah, that works. I do, I absolutely, I work with that a lot. But when we are like just jamming around with the music, I don't think we think about it that much. I think it comes in when I start to write the melodies.
Okay, so more with the lyrics than actually.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's talk about your Patreon. You've been pretty successful with your Patreon. That's a whole nother full-time job, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's also one thing that we started during the pandemic. I mean, I've looked at Patreon like 6 years ago, but then it seemed very hard to do it here in Sweden because of all the paperwork. I think they made it easier now. So I was like, oh no. And now, when we were suddenly not playing and didn't make any money at all, we had to find, like, can we find an income, a little bit of income somehow?
Right.
So we started the Patreon, or I started the Patreon. So yeah, and that's also thanks to the pandemic, actually, that I tried that out.
It's kind of crazy how much you don't even think about how much has come out of all the shit we went through.
Yes, exactly.
So what's next for Liv Sin? Are you guys going to be hitting the road, or are there shows lined up, or is it too early?
It is harder now,
Yeah.
post-COVID, or it's not even post-COVID because it's still COVID. And I mean, in Germany, I noticed they are back and forth with restrictions, etc. So it is harder now, but we have a couple of shows planned in Scandinavia, at least, or here in Sweden, and a little bit going on in Europe as well. But that's kind of everything for now, because it is hard. It's hard to get find a good agent to when you're a smaller band. So that's one of the issues that we are working with as well. But at least we got back our old management who's in the States. So
Nice.
I have a plan. My plan or my goal is to come 2024 to the States. But we'll see if that happens. But at least we have him to work on that now. So it's easier when you have someone there.
Oh yeah, I think the last time you were here, correct me if I'm wrong, was the Mayhem Festival, right?
It was the Mayhem Festival, yeah, with Sisters In. So I definitely want to come back, and I think that we need to find a good support tour. It's hard for us to come over and headline. We're too small for that still, but to find a band that we could go and support, it would be good.
I imagine it's hard to find dates to play as well, because there are so many people that are like, the floodgates opened right after the pandemic and everybody wants to play. Everybody's at this, so it's sort of flooded, right?
Absolutely. So it's every band is kind of lining up for the spots that are available. And unfortunately, since we didn't have anything planned for 2020, because I was going to play with Sisters In, we are like in the very back of that line.
Right.
Because all the bands that was in the making for 2020 or in the plans for 2020, they are like in the front, and we are in the way back on that line. But we are working on it.
Right. So Kali Yuga comes out the 27th, so we're only about a week and a half away from it. Are you planning on doing more video singles, or is it going to just be an album release and that'll be that?
Mostly an album release now. We have actually one last fall we did a live stream for our patrons, and then we at the same place we recorded some material for upcoming videos. So we have one more of those to use for more like a rock and rollish video. But later on. But since we just released I Am the Storm video, we are not going to do many more of those. We're going to do lyric videos for all the songs.
Right.
So.
I appreciate that you actually do a full record, because I'm old school, and I like that kind of thing, because, everybody's now one song, give me 30 seconds or whatever. Yeah. What was it like sequencing? Because that's a whole art in itself, isn't it? Sequencing a record? Putting the songs
put a song together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a whole art form that I think is missing, because you have to do the ebbs and the flows.
Exactly. And it is hard, and you always start to think, did we do the right thing? Because now we put all the first singles first, except for I Am the Storm, who is in the first on the B side of the vinyl. But we did the first 3 singles. We put them first on the record. And I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but it feels like it was a little bit of a today thing to do, to put all the singles first when people come to Spotify or when they see that and they listen to the songs. But we'll see. That was, we talked very much back and forth with that. And in the end, we settled for the singles first.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's attention span is like 30 seconds. They just move on right away. There's no sitting down and listening to the record the way, you put it in order and understanding it. Crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess you got to move along and adapt to whatever's going.
Absolutely. I think that is one of the things that we learn that you have to look forward and not so much backward. But sometimes it is hard. I mean, I miss the days with Sister Sin when I could be the band and the artist, and Sister Sin could be the band, and we didn't have to do all these other things that we have. Everything. But still, you can't look back, because everything is going forward. So you have to try to adapt and move forward with those things. So we try to do that with Liv Jagrell.
So you've been at this a really long time. Did you ever imagine you'd still be doing it or making albums that are, relatively relatable?
Yes, because I don't know any. I should not say that I don't know anything else, but I can't see myself not making music. I'm one of those persons that there are a couple of weirdos out there that just can't do anything else, or they get they don't feel that they fit in a normal job. And I never felt like I fitted in any normal job. I tried a lot of them, and I mean, I work today in a veterinary clinic and I love animals, but I still feel like I'm just doing that because I have to, because I want to do music. Right,
and you got to pay the rent, right?
And I got to pay the rent. So I am definitely one of those that likes, I'm going to do music. But I realized at least that making music on your band is really, really hard today. So you have to find other things. So right now I'm working on my ability to produce music and make music, other style of music, or just make music, and trying to get into the music production thing. I mean, you have to start somewhere. I'm not very far yet, but I love doing that. And I think that is something that, I mean, if I start now, or I started a year ago, 5 years, maybe I'm pretty good at that. Sure. And then I can make money from that as well. And I can do music, but from different sources or streams. Yeah.
Are you looking to do all kinds of genres, or are you going to stay in the metal wheelhouse?
No, I would love to do a lot of other genres, but I don't want to sing that music. For me, I don't want to sing metal. But I love to do other style of music and also produce other people's music, because I think I have a pretty good ear, at least with the vocal production and where to put stuff and melodies and hooks and that. So that is what I'm trying to work on to get better on. And I would love to do other style of music. I would love to do pop music, but not for me, for someone else.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got one more for you, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but I'm always curious. Why do you think there's so much or so many really good metal bands or heavy bands coming out of Scandinavia, Sweden, Finland,
Yeah.
Norway. It's an inordinate amount that's composed compared to the rest of the
Yeah.
world.
I think that one part is that it's not only metal, it's a lot of music coming from Scandinavia. And I think that's a lot of that has to do that we have the what do you call it, commune music school, where when you're a kid here in Sweden, you can go almost for free to learn an instrument from 10 years old. I think you have this the first, and it's very, very cheap, and we encourage children to go into music or theater or art very, very early. So I did that. I started with flute and moved on, and that was just like natural in my school. What I remember was like that was something that almost everyone did. If they were not very good at sport, then they did the sport instead. But if you didn't do the sport, then you go to the music part, the music school that we had like after hours or after school, to learn an instrument. And it could be drama as well. It was not only music, but mostly music. So we have a good stable base to start with, and so people get early into the music, and of course a lot of people then stop. They're not interested anymore. But a lot of people continues also, again, because of the cold weather, nothing to do here. I mean, people say that all the time, and I know there's cold weather on other places, obviously, as well. But the feeling is like either sport or music. That was the two things you did when you were a kid, at least when I grew up. And a lot of people were like playing in bands, and and obviously then some will get good. And
sure.
Yeah. And then we had the first really heavy stuff coming out, and with the Gothenburg sound, etc. And I think that just and then it came a next wave in music from Scandinavia and Sweden, and then the black metal from Norway. So
and even Finland's got like a crazy amount of really good bands that come out of
Absolutely, definitely, and a lot of those symphonic styles as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's really interesting. Well, Liv, that's all I have. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy.
Absolutely. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you as well. Thank you, my friend. It was good seeing you again. Good luck with the record.
Oh, thank you so much. Good seeing you.
Maybe we'll see you over here somewhere.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Be well, my friend.
Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.